All right. Playing some T7. I got my pin chest to play here, so just logged on, haven't played, took a little bit of time off, and thought I'd come out and play some T7 and see if I can get my butt kicked. Let's see if I got club card trade in today, so let's see what I get in my prism chest. I got my Hornet and or not my Hornet, but I got my Rapier and my Nirvana upgraded to level 8 the last time, all in one day. They were both right there. I'm working on my Hornet. It's the next club that I'm actually working on to get to a level. It and the Guardian. I'm working on my big topper though. At level 7, that big topper gets some stuff, and I'm kind of working on I get a lot of big toppers in tournaments, and so I've been trying to. It's a close toss up here between the big topper and the Guardian, and I really at level 7, the big topper gets a bump in distance, and it starts becoming. I mean, like when it gets maxed out at level 8, it's really. I mean, it's a different club. At a level 7, it makes a jump in power, so it goes to 225, and so it gets halfway to where an extra mile and those are. That Guardian gets a little bit of distance, but I got to work on. I'm working on my epics. Got to dump points into my epics, help them out. But I can get big toppers in those tournament chests, so it's getting up to level 7 pretty quick. All right, let's go into T7 and see how many holes we can get in an hour. Tour 7. I'm actually down one. What kind of crap is that? Let's see if we can win some cheddar. I don't know how many coins I had at the beginning. Let's see if we come out with some coins out. I'm sure we have tons of people down here. I'm not sure. I think they changed one of the courses and they may have moved something around. One of my teammates said that Santa Ventura is not in here anymore. Okay, this is one of the tournament holes. If I can remember how to play this, my notes, I think it's an extra mile. And it's a kingmaker. And I think it was 4, 5. I think this was the one. I'm setting up right off of the transition. Let's take the wind. The wind's going with us, so we're going to leave that wind in. See if that's the spot. See if I can remember how to play it. It's different in pro than it is in rookie, so that was overcut. I need to move out farther in the sand. It'll be different playing from the front tees than it will from the second tees, but I want to see what's possible from the second tees. I know one of my teammates posted this the other day, and they actually posted the max overpower hook shot on the left-hand side that put them in the same spot, and they spanned that water chasm. And that might be the way to have to do it in pro from the second tee, is to go to the right instead of to the left, because you may not be able to get out there far enough. Let's see what my opponent got accomplished. They got underneath the trees a little too far with a marlin. So it should be possible to get out there. If we were in pro, we'd have a little bit bigger wind. In expert, they can definitely get out there. Okay, so the wind's pushing me forward. I'm in my Nirvana, so there's 4-6. So 4-6 without doing any overpower at all is going to push me up there. So let's see if we can get dialed up to the cup. Put a little teeny bit of backspin on just to control it when it hits there. So we want it to roll out, not so much backspin. It's going to move forward 4-6. Let's see if we got our trajectory right, and we'll just let the wind work for us. And I hit it 1 ring, 2 rings, great. 75 rings, great to the left. And I clipped the tree. We'll try that again. We'll have to try it again. We probably won't get favorable wind this time, so we'll really have to scramble. What are you doing forfeiting, dude? I was ready to. I was in it to win it. Come on, I'll take the win. I will take it. Want to forfeit and give me a win? Never bitch when somebody forfeits and gives you a win. I never forfeit when I'm playing one-on-one because I mean every one of those shots is a practice shot. So I'm gonna play it all the way to the end, and if they beat me, they beat me. But I can go out there and practice those shots. So if you end up in a spot like that and you were in a tournament, you've had the epic fail, and you feel like you can. Let me get these coins and get this crap out of the way. This is the thing when you have a lot of Facebook friends. You got to come in here and you got to do this 27 times, 15 times to get all of the coins. You got an upper developed account, you can get quite a few coins. So I started the day off with 56,234,000. I kept this account down around 40 million for quite a while, and then some people asked me to start playing T7. And T7, if you spend the day playing it, you can easily build your bank up. You spend a month on T7, you can build your bank up. And once you get T8 maxed out, you stay there and you keep playing, and you just play up and down, and you're up at the top of it. You play up and down to build your bankroll before you go to T9 if you're wanting to go up the scale. The deal is that the higher up the scale you go in tours, then you start cutting out some of the lower tours. You won't be able to play those lower tours anymore because you won't be able to get live action. You're playing against replays, and it's super hard to win your trophies back because you got to be dead on the shootouts. And so it takes a while when you go to a tour, you got to stay at that tour for a while to remember how to do all the shootouts so that you're super accurate. So if you go down, it's very easy that you could lose a bunch of trophies and not be able to get them back. If you played a T7 and below, you can get live action wherever you go. So if I go to T2 or T3, I'm playing against a real person, and I have a better shot of beating a real person than I do a replay. That's why this account doesn't play above T7, because I want to be able to get live action all the way down. So if I'm practicing, if we've got T2 two holes, then I can go down there and practice against live action. I have no idea what this hole is. What is it? Hitting off the island. I like to use my accurate stuff. I really want to practice with the Guardian here. I want to hit with the Apocalypse. It's got lots of curl. And on this, because of the curvature, I want to be 3 rings out. Right dead center in the middle of that. 7 wind. There's 5. There's 6, 6, 6, 7. There's about 7. And we're going to do max curl. Hitting it perfect. Try and get it up underneath those shadows, so we can go at it with my Guardian. And we are out there in Guardian spot. Let's see where my opponent is. What the hell did they do on their first shot? Oh, they went the other way. I suppose if you could get out there far enough on the other way, they've got a wood right there. If you could get far enough out there, you might be able to engage that rough and do a rough bump coming at it from this direction. And that would be a much better rough bump. It's a crappy rough bump from the other side that I'm on. But if you could get up there far enough, that might be the way to look at it, because that's a straight on rough bump coming at it straight up the hill instead of trying to hit this rough bump at this angle. This is a very dangerous rough bump if you want to do a rough bump from here. But my opponent gave me an opportunity to do a rough bump, so I might as well do it. It's a 1.2 per ring, so there's 2, 4. So it's a little over 2 rings. And I normally wouldn't do a shot that's that close to the rough, because if I hit this great to the right, I'm in the fairway and I'm sunk. If I hit it great to the left, I clip the rough even farther and I may be stuck in the rough, just like that. There's no room for error on a shot like that. You either hit it perfect at that angle or you hit it great to the left or the right and you're sunk. So normally on a shot like that, I would just come right at it. But from that other side that my opponent was on, they had the view looking at the rough where you were going like this. If you hit it great to the left or the right, it doesn't matter. you're just going to miss the cup great to the left or the right, but you're going to end up out the cup. I've never really tried from the side that my opponent was on over there because of the driver situation. But now that I've got bigger clubs, maybe that's next time we get on this hole, I'm going to try it from the other side. Because the last time this was in a tournament, I've played this hole a billion times, but I had no good luck on this hole. I've never had good luck on this hole in a tournament. But I play it the same as I do when I play one-on-one. And maybe I need to change that up. Give it a look from a different direction. Wind's blowing that way. Wind's not really going to play a factor, but I'm going to go right on the outside edge of that cup. I just need to hit perfect. No, that was way off from perfect. All right, so I learned something on that. Maybe, and I got to demo to you guys why I don't like that kind of rough bump. Those kind of rough bumps are difficult. If you hit it perfect, you're perfect. If you don't hit it perfect, you're sunk. That's why normally in one-on-one I would always set up, because right now that would have been an easy win. Now I've let my opponent back in the game, and now he's forced to shoot out. That's all right. I can beat anybody in a shootout. Sometimes. I know I played Hammer and Hank here a couple weeks ago before one of the tournaments. Me and him played for like 4 hours. And there were some of the shootouts that were on there. There was one of the shootouts on there. He got 4 hole-in-ones. We got on that shootout, and he hole-in-one'd it every single time we were on it. And so unless it was a hole-in-one, and I knew that towards the third and the fourth time going in, that if I didn't get a hole-in-one, I was probably going to lose this. And I was super close, but he got a hole-in-one. But there was one of the shootouts that was in there that I kicked his butt. I think we were on it like 3 times, and I owned that hole. I mean, I am always close on that. Hopefully that hole is still in this in Tour 7. It's hard to get a hole-in-one on it, but I've got a shot that gets me close to it every single time, like really close. This guy lost. I mean, I could probably dunk it and get closer than that. And I don't like doing a headwind. I don't like doing the rough bump here with the headwind, so I'm going to do this shot right here. 5-9. My Guardians, there's 5. It's 1 point, so it's a little over half. It's like 1.7 per ring. So 3 is 5-1. I'm gonna put some curl on it to bring it back to the hole. Hitting it perfect. Over curled it. But all I had to do was be within 15 yards, so that's the deal. If you hit that rough bump and you have headwind and you get the wind pull, you do the wind, you get the wind wrong, you'll end up getting stuck in that rough and you're like 20 yards away. So that's like a losing deal. So if they would have been like 2 or 3 yards away, I probably would have went the rough bump because that way you can get within that. But why risk it? Let's open up that silver chest. Open sesame. Let's get a gold started. All right, here we go. Tour 7. Rolling. See if we can get any of these people to replay. I replayed somebody the other day. They were a D-bag. They were doing the whole freaking spam emoji, so I had to turn the emojis off. And I beat them the first game out. Everything was cool until we got to the point where we were on the shootout. And then they started I went last, and they started emoji spamming me. And I won. And then they came out and the second one, I tanked the second shot. It's on a hole that I really like, and I tanked the second shot. And I let them beat me out on the course. And then we went to a shootout in the third match, and they beat me in the shootout. I wasn't too happy about losing two out of three ain't bad, but I was on the losing end of that 2 out of 3, and I didn't really like that. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. See if my opponent can get on. It looks good. Just a little bit too far. They brought a katana. We got a 3-mile-an-hour wind. Let's bring out the... Hey. I guess that's the one. I'm going to try... Just trying to... It's 3-4. I'm going to try and lay it up on the end down there and get into my rapier range. I want to see what that shot looks like. And just try and lay it up out there and see, like, if you're out here in one-on-one and somebody fails and they end up in there, like, this is a pretty easy shot, except when I fail. I laid it up and then ended up in the rough. I might as well have went for it. That's right. This is a good rough shot to practice. My opponent's playing with a level 4 junglist. I have no idea what a level 4 junglist has. Let's check my opponent out. They've got 1,333 games. 33 million won. So they're primarily playing 33 million divided by 2. It's 15 million divided by however many wins they have. We'll give you a number and round that up to the whatever the next tour up. So if the number is 82,000, they're playing T7. Two-7 win from my Nirvana distance. From this distance, it's probably about that much right there. Let's see if I can hit it perfect. Oh, I hit it like 700 rings great to the right last time. Now it's straight to the left. Somewhere in between there, there's a perfect. Forcing a shootout. Dinking around, trying some shots out. Don't be afraid of shootouts. Go to those shootouts. The only way you're going to learn how to do those shootouts is if you go to those shootouts. And the whole deal is if you're playing on a tour on a regular basis, remembering the distance. So you're always the closest that you traveled past the cup is where you stop. And you win a lot of shootouts. And I'm playing this shootout different. I'm not going on that left-hand side. I play on the right-hand side during tournament play, and I'm going to play on the right-hand side here from the second tees because you have a lot more control, I think, over the ball, and you can get it done better with a one side spin ball. So my opponent's got the katana. With their hammerhead. Better get that shot set up. 7-7 wind. 7-7 headwind. Hitting it great to the left probably didn't help their cause. It's all about speed right in here. So that looks, is it going to roll off the backside or is it going to spin back towards the cup? Because if it starts rolling downhill here, it's not gonna roll off the green. It'll stay on the green, but it won't roll onto the fringe. And it could pick up some speed if it keeps rolling. Okay, let's see where my sniper is. Let's make it so that I've got enough room to work out the wind. I'm just going to dribble up there. A little bit of topspin. There's 5. There's 9-1, and I'm going to go just a little more. And that puts me about 2.5 rings into power. So I have to put a little bit of power on it in order to fight my way up there. Hitting it perfect. Didn't get enough speed to the cup. Need to put just a little bit more topspin on it. That'll feed right up there. That's a whole lot safer than doing the trying the shot from the other side. Just need to get my speed right. But I'm gonna play that hole in that direction. I'm gonna because normally when I'm playing from the second tees, I've come at it from the left, and I don't like coming out from the left. I know when that hole first came out, I played it from the right, but the majority of the people that are out there played it from the left, and I went to the left to try and figure out what they were looking at. And I think I like it. I play it on the right-hand side in tournament play from the rookie tees. And I need to start doing that in pro. All right. We are definitely going to the right. If my opponent goes to the left, they spotted me a shot. Let's check out my opponent. 81 million, 3,100 games. Played in a few tournaments. Open the door. You can't make it from there from the rough or the sand. So that's a max overpower shot right there. We got a 7-7 win, so there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 7, 7, and that puts me about a ring into power. So I'm going to be a little short even on overpower. And I hit it way, way good. So I'm in the sand as well. But I'm closer. I can get over to the other side there with my Spitfire. I doubt that I can get in between that fairway that's in front of me and the green. There's another rough patch, and I don't know that I can get past that rough patch, but I can get up there. We'll see. I might be able to do a max overpower hook and get over to the other side. If I can get into the right spot out there, I'll try a max overpower hook. Because my opponent, there's no way I'm not going to get up there far enough to get on in 3, and my opponent's just made it so that he's going to be on in 3, so I have the opportunity to go for it if I can reach that fairway. Oh, yeah. Let's see with all the topspin that I have. Like how far up there could I get? And I can get way up there. Three, 3. It's about 3, 3. Give myself a little room so I can get up in that spot. Hitting it perfect. Trying to get up there into like my minimum short iron or my wedge range. That's probably going to be minimum short iron. My minimum short iron is 2.2 per ring. If I can get up there in minimum short iron, I can sink this shot. Oh, I'm definitely going to be a minimum short iron if my opponent's in a long iron. I don't know where their red lines are at, though. And they got a Goliath, which doesn't have the best of ball guide. So if they make it, this would be an epic. Make it in the hole. All right, chipping it in the wind against the side wind. Where am I at in the club? There's Min. There's Max. So I'm about mid club, so that's 1.9 per ring. I'm going against a little bit of a side headwind, so it's 1.9 per ring. So there's 3/8. There's 4/8. It's about a ring and 3/4. Or whatever that was. And hitting it perfect. Give myself a look at it. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Just a little bit of an underpull. Let's work that mouth, whatever that mouth was, whatever that number was, divided by 1.9. That's how many rings I should have moved. So that's 3/8. Half of that's 4/8. It's 5/2 or 5/4. So I moved it 2 3/4. That's somewhere around the neighborhood. Not quite enough. I needed to move it 3. Which would have been 3/8, 4/8, 5/7. Because that's about how far I was off. If I would have moved it 3 full rings, I probably went right at the cup. All right, this hole right here, I don't know how we play this hole in pro, like what the difference is. I'm right at my red line here, so I can't work the wind out if I can get the adjustment right. Let's see what angle I need to get at. It's max backspin. Let's take that shot. I'm going to just take it because I'm running out of time. But I wanted to see what I could do from pro there. From pro, we would definitely, if we had a bigger ball, we'd have more of a red line so we could get right at it. So we need a bigger ball than a marlin. So our red line was pushed forward. We need at least a 1 power ball in order to push that red line forward to give us enough room. We could use one of those low wind 1 or 2 power balls. A 2 power ball would work too. Any ball bigger than a power 0 would work there because you could get to the point where you could get down to the hole. If you had a headwind, you'd have to have more distance. So you may have to bring out a power 2 ball if we have headwind here. But if we have tailwind, we can get right on the back of that, right at the red line. And we could work the wind out. We could pull it back into it. That way that my opponent played right there was the way that I played this when I was in Tour 9. I came around the bend. I didn't use the rough bump, but I figured out the wind adjustment on the rough bump, and I need to see like how it converts over to pro. Why didn't I rematch that person? What was I thinking? That was my bad. That's cool that they added the Oasis to Tour 7, so we can play both Kohung Resort and the Oasis, so we can play all of the holes here at Tour 7, so that's kind of cool. We'll get a little bit of a feel for how it plays in Ricky, but we'll get to play them from the pro tees. So for all of you out there, especially people that are in the Kings of Golf here playing pro, like some of this stuff, if they got all the holes in here, this is the deal. So if you have pro accounts, you have rookie accounts that you play, but you have pro accounts, like you've set up one of your accounts to play pro and you're playing rookie with the rest of them, you can do the deal. I don't want to have to do the practice time that it takes to learn how to play the holes in pro. And the thing about playing pro is that you may be playing right now, everything's in Tour 7. But if the holes are in Tour 10 and you're not up there, then you can't practice those holes. I'm going to bring a bigger ball. Let's play this hole serious. Bring a Titan, the king of balls. What is Titan? It's the king of balls. And in order to get the bounce to go up, we need to be somewhere in that range right there. 2-1, that's one ring. I don't want to do any overpower. I just want it to do its little thing. Hitting it perfect. And see if I get the bounce, steady bounce, steady bounce, if I get the bounces right. There's one bounce. There's two bounces, and then it skipped right over. That's what we're looking for. I like to get a little further up on there because this second shot's a monster shot. This is what I'm saying in my video. Like, we're in pretty much the same spot we would end up in pro, or where you could potentially end up in pro. So right here, the only thing different on this hole from the pro tees and the rookie tees is you got to get it's a little bit harder to get the drive where you want it. But if you can get the drive up on this island, this is the spot that you'd be landing in rookie, and it's a long freaking shot to get up to the green. So you're going to need to bring a big club, a big dog. Pick up a little bit of distance though, and you bring a big ball though, you can get up into this area right here, and this isn't too much different than what you're going to get in rookie. It's the same, you're the same landing area. I'm going to put on 3.5 topspin and just see how much it rolls forward, because it rolls on this hole. It doesn't want to come to a stop, but it may, if you're too far out, it may come to a stop. There's 8, or there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Let's see how far this sucker rolls forward. Hit a one ring great to the left. And see if that gets me up on the green and it rolls down the thing, or if it stops beforehand. Because once it engages the green, see how it just kept rolling? It didn't come to a stop where the ball guide said it was going to. I mean, from where I'm at right now, I'm 30 yards in front of where the freaking ball guide stopped, because it's all downhill. And so if you try and bleed that ball guide all the way up to the cup and you get that ball guide too far out here, the ball guide's lying like hell. And it'll roll right off the back and you'll end up over here. And even though you're super close, it's still having to put that in from the rough is not a good deal. We can bleed it up on there. "33 minutes on this video." We still got like 15 minutes of video that we can do. Ooh. Ooh. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Dun, 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 dun. All right. All right, Chaos. OG Cowboys. That's a good name, Chaos. Let's roll. 77 because you get 8 more. And Chaos versus Chaos. It's a smackdown. Come on, buddy. Get the American flag out there. Let's roll. Don't waste my time. You're wasting video time. Come on, man. Do you know the rules? And we better clear that just in case we do get somebody who wants to replay. I'm going to leave a couple slots open for them. We don't mind losing one. I only had 2 slots. I got to let other people work on their clubs. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Two out of 3 ain't bad. Okay, now there is a max overpower hook shot that you can do on this hole as well from rookie, and I have no idea where you do it out in pro. And this is one of the holes that's in the tournament. My opponent's going for it. If they end up in the rough, I'm going for it. And we'll put our stuff to the test. We'll force some shootouts. Like we'll go for the stuff. Like normally it's fairway to green, but right now I want to play some of these holes like I was a pro. So let's see what kind of stuff we can do here. I tell you, the club that I think is the one is this bag right here. And I think the whole deal is bringing a Kingmaker. Let's see what we can get done. Let's see what we can get done just with the rock just in full bloom. I got to give it enough room for the curl to become effective. So there's one. I'm going to come out 4 rings. Try and hit it perfect. That's not a max overpower hook, but I'm trying to swing myself around over that whole deal and use that rock without ending up bleeding off the other side. And see if I can get myself closer, not doing a max overpower hook, just doing a max curl. That rock, the last time this was in the tournament, I didn't have that rock to level 8. And that rock at level 8 has more curl than any other driver. The Apocalypse gets up there with it. So the Apocalypse is the other choice. But that rock at level 8 has more curl on it than, unless you get your Apocalypse to level 5. So I think at level 5, the rock and the Apocalypse, and the rock hits farther. So you could do the same thing with an Apocalypse. So if you have an Apocalypse level 5, that hole right there, you could put some hurting on it because you could get way down in there. It's all about being off far enough to the left so that you can do the max overpower and then using your curl to get you back around. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. You might be able to do a really big max overpower hook shot there. Because that rock can get over. Okay, where am I at my grizzly? Okay, there's minimum grizzly, so I'm at 1.75 per ring. It's a 100% accurate club. I'm going to dial it up to the cup. We're going to do a 2 mile per hour pull. There's 175 and a little. I'm going to do just a little bit more because I'm going up against headwind. Oh, then I hit it great to the right. Urgh! Great to the right. Great to the right. Man, I can't hit a freaking perfect to save my ass. That's all right. We get to go to a shootout and we get to play the shootout. So some of these holes are going to be in the shootout and we want to be able to play those. We want to know how to play those par 3s. That's the cool thing about practice is you can go out there and practice and force shootouts because you're trying to get those shootouts. That's the thing that's why normally during the tournament, like once the tournament has started and we get to the opening round and the weekend round, I don't play shootouts. I'm not interested in wasting my hole-in-ones on those because when you're playing shootouts, you're actually, on a lot of these holes, your goal is to just get fairway to green and try and force your opponent to stay out of the rough or the sand. But when you get to a shootout, you really are trying to get close to the shootout. So at any given moment, you could get a hole-in-one. And I don't want to waste those hole-in-ones on shootouts. I want to be able to go to that hole and every hole in one I get actually counted. It doesn't happen as often anymore, but like when our clan, the Kings of Golf, first started, there was always somebody that got hole in ones during the shootouts. And people don't get as many because a lot of people don't waste their hole in ones on shootouts. Because you're actually trying when you're on the par threes. I mean, in tournament play, we have to get that eagle on that hole, or we have to get that albie. We don't have to get the hole in ones, although we're trying to get hole in ones. But in shootouts, we want that hole in one. I mean, this is the thing where we want to be closer than our opponent. And that was a great shot. Nice shot. Crowd goes wild. That was a good shot on my opponent's part. And I'm going to have to shoot from down here because the freaking wind's going about 1 billion miles an hour. And I'm going to do like a 30% over pull. So I'm going to do a 4-3 pull. Let's hit it perfect. I think I should add it on a little more backspin. Hit it perfect. See if we can beat that. It felt like I needed to put on a little bit more backspin, like it might roll out. It's going down that hill. I got my trajectory right. If I would have stopped at the closest I was from the cup, I would have had it. So I got my speed wrong. Good game. Speed's the important thing. Let's see if they'll rematch us. Come on, we got banner and banner here. You don't run into people with banners very often. Nice silver and bronze, Adam. Let's see if we can get some. I'm down 25 now. I started off, I was down, so I'm down in cash. I'm like a game down. I think I was at 84 now. I'm at 75 when I started. So, all right. Every time I play this hole, every freaking time I play it, and we've got a little bit of a headwind here, so I'm going to play with Katana. I'm going to play with an extra mile. We're trying to get. We're going against a little bit of a headwind. It's 5-1. So there's 2, 4, 5, and a little. We're trying to curl that sucker and just second bounce rough bump it onto that middle pad over there. If we can get to that middle pad, then I am on in 2. That's all we needed to do right there. So most people don't play this hole. This hole right here, when you get this hole in the Oasis, this is a hole that 90% of the people that you plant, nobody will go to that little pad right there. Everybody hits over to this pad. This is the pad that everybody's trying to hit to, and they'll see you hit to that pad and they'll start looking at it. But right now, most people are going to play to this pad on the outside out here. And if they play to that outside pad over here, that's an automatic loss if you can end up on the fairway here. See, my opponent took a look at it and didn't like it, so they switched over to that side. That side over there, unless you bring the right stuff, you're not going to get on in 2. So it's get on in 3 and get your putt and get your birdie and go home. And if you play to that pad that I'm on, that's eagle. And so most people look at this par 5 as being a very hard hole to eagle. But I actually, if you play to that center pad, this is a very eagleable hole, especially if you have a Guardian as your secondary club. Because if you have a Guardian, you can make it up. And I got just a window to make it up on here. And we're going to do the backspin, side spin, curl shot. So it's max backspin, max side spin, max curl. And we're going to take out 4-9 wind. That's almost 5 rings. And we're going to max curl it and just bring it onto the fairway or the green so that I can get a putt. And it doesn't matter where we end up there. I mean, this shot is like you can hit it. I hit it 2 rings great to the left and it's still up there and it's on the green and I'm making a pitch and I'm going home. If you had a Guardian, you can stick it right at the cup And the deal is that that's a guaranteed eagle. I don't care where it ends up on the green. It's a max backspin, side spin, curl shot. So I don't have a lot of control over where it's going to go. I mean, I can work it so I'm super close and it could potentially go in. But the deal is that you're on the green and you're making your putt and you got your eagle every single time you play this hole. Super easy. You can see what my opponent's having to go through to try and get over there from there. And people will typically lay up there at the top and then take the shot coming in, which is a rough bump. But if you do that shot that I did with a Guardian, you are in business. I mean, this is almost like every time you play this hole, you've automatically won if you hit that fairway pad. And if I don't hit that fairway pad, I shoot right back to that fairway pad. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Eagle. Every time. Every time you're on that fairway pad. So that's the only shot that you want to practice. It's harder to do it with an extra mile 6 and 7. You can get it done pretty easy with an extra mile 8, but the extra curl, if you got an extra mile 9, it's just even that much easier. But you have to bring out a big ball. So you need to bring out like the king of balls. A Titan. I'd forgotten all about this hole. I haven't played these tours in a long time, and they haven't. This hole hasn't been in a tournament in a long time. But I like this hole. This is a hole that if you play in one-on-one, you can win a lot if you hit to that island. Guardian. You get it done with the sniper. Sniper got it done. Yeah, let's play that hole again. That's an easy win. Come on, manifest, Eagles. Yeah. No dice. Thanks for the chest. B52. Got myself an epic. Fill in the tank on the commons. If you're in the prism chest, that's the whole deal, is you're opening up lots of chests so you can fill that tank for those commons. You want to be able to use that prism chest every day. You always want to have one of them that's got 300 cards in it. If you've been playing for a long time and you had an inventory, I've got an inventory to build on. So as long as I maintain that inventory, I've got thousands of cards extra. So I just need to keep adding on so every day I can participate. Eventually you'll get all of your cards maxed out. Slow and steady wins the race. I got a rose ball. That's an awesome Power 5 ball. Why are we using a rose ball in T7? Does this count as a hole that we really want to use a Power 5 ball on? I think it does. That's way the hell down there. Which way's the wind blowing? See if a Titan, the king of balls, can get me down there. It can. 5-4. There's 5-4. I'm going to put all the forward power back in. Just try and hit it down the pike. Hitting a one ring great to the right. I'm just trying to get down there by those shadows. This is about, you could come up, but you'd be a little closer to this shadow right here if you were in rookie and you really pounded that sucker down there, because you'd be fully clear of the trees. But the shot that I have here, even though that tree's there in the window, the distance that I'm hitting it, it's going to go over the top of that tree. So I've got a clear lane going in. This is a tough hole to get an Albion. I don't know. I'm sure that I've gotten one on this hole, but if I have gotten any on this hole, it's probably only one. But you're always close. It's a tough hole to get in the hole. My opponent's going for it. And they got a big power 5 ball, so they got the opportunity to go for it. I know that this has like a backboard on it. And they're on the fairway, so that's that gave them, they got a nice clear shot at it. Okay, what do I got? 3-6. My sniper. 3-6. Hitting it perfect. I'm not going to go in because I couldn't get it lined up, but I'm trying to see if it'll dribble back down onto the green. Give me a run at it. Give me a look. There is a way to do that though. If I knew how much topspin and backspin to put on it, then you put that topspin and backspin on and you start moving it around until you get the ball guide right. And try and use that backboard to funnel it up to it. See how high that inbringer hits? Jeez. And hit it great from that distance in the hole. They should have a disadvantage in the shootout though, because they've got a power 5 ball and I've got a power 3 ball. I'll have to see where the red lines are, what shootout we get. Eagle, eagle. The rose ball versus the king of balls. Shootout time. My opponent's a master, so we would definitely want to beat them. You got to play Tour 9 in order to get enough coinage to be able to get the master rating. Where's my red lines at? Right there is the transition. So I'm going to have to just go at it. There isn't enough room to work out the wind on the rough bump. Six, 6. Do a 20% wind adjustment. So that's 12. That's 7, 8. There's 6, 7, 8. I'm going to snap it off. Hitting it perfect. Just run it up there. They should easily be able to beat that. That's a ways away. How much time we got here? 53 minutes. As soon as this hole's over, we're out of time. Out of time. Played some T7. I think I ended up breaking even if I win this. They actually, with that rose ball, could do the rough bump because their red line's pushed farther forward, so they could work the wind out. But that's a difficult rough bump, especially with a headwind. You'd have to get that wind exactly right, otherwise you are sunk. They hit it great to the right, about 2 rings. Color commentary here. All right, got ourselves a win on that shootout. Beating the master. King of balls. They brought the wrong knife to that fight. Let's see if they'll rematch. If they will, I'll stop this video and start another one. Come on, chump. No dice. All right. I will. I probably will start another one. Thanks for watching.